Hi everybody, I'm Connor, and today we're going to be going over the setup and operation for the HydroZen portable H2 infusion system. First thing we're going to be going over today is all the parts you'll need to get started. First component we're going to talk about is the GFCI cord here. Then you will need your return hose and your intake hose. Okay. Now, if you are going to breathe the gas, you'll need your nasal cannula here. And if you're going to make hydrogen infused drinking water, you'll need this diffusion rod here. Okay. The last thing we're going to talk about that's absolutely necessary is the distilled water. We only use distilled water on our machine. It only can take distilled water, so we can't use spring or tap water. Distilled water is a must. All right. First step to powering on your unit is you're going to plug it in to this GFCI cord. So you're going to take the GFCI cord female side, lift this gate here, and push that in snugly, like so. Then you're going to plug it into power on the wall. Okay? You should see a green light come on. If you don't see a green light, go ahead and press this top button. Okay. Once you get your unit plugged in, you should hear your fan come on, and you should see this screen come on. That means that the unit has power. Once your unit has power, it's time to fill the reservoir with distilled water. You're going to open up this top flap, turn this to the side, and that'll reveal the reservoir. Always use distilled water like I mentioned earlier, and we're slowly going to add this in here, a little bit at a time. And what we're going to check for in the front here is that the water level comes above this minimum line. All right, so as you can see, we're now in the middle of this, in between minimum and maximum. We want to make sure that we do not overfill it. Get it started about here and then fill as needed. If you overfill it, you'll have to drain it out of the back. Okay. Now that we have our unit filled with distilled water, we're going to connect our hoses, starting with our intake line. Intake line has a male piece on the end of the hose and a female piece here. We're going to push that down, put it on there. These are high pressure fittings, so it might be a little tough to get them on, but we just want to make sure that's a snug fit. Next, for our return hose, same thing, except opposite. We have a female end on the hose and a male end on the unit, okay? So we're going to pull this up, get that on there, make sure that's nice and snug, and that way no water's going to get out. Okay, now we can go ahead and put our hoses in the bath, wheel this on over. All right, now that we have our hoses connected securely, we're going to go ahead and start the process for a bath water infusion. First thing we're going to do is press power here, and we're going to set our time. If you're going to do an hour bath, I would suggest just setting it to 2 hours just so that it never runs out. Next, once we have our time set, we'll press play here, and you will begin to see bubbles forming in here. That means that the hydrogen gas is being produced. Next, we're going to come over onto this power button right on the front here. I'm going to press that. You'll hear the unit come on. The unit has been running for about 30 seconds, and you can see that the hydrogen is being infused into the bath here with all these micro bubbles. This whole tub will fill with this cloudy water. All this is micro nano bubbles of hydrogen gas. Now that your tub is infused with hydrogen, you can go ahead and hop in. Feel free to take as long of a bath as you'd like. This unit can run continuously for up to 2 hours. Okay? And once you're done with your bath, what you're gonna do is you're gonna take your intake line and you're just gonna pull it out briefly. And then you're gonna see that side burp, and go ahead and turn this off. And what that's doing is it's clearing the lines of water. Now, when you're done, you do not necessarily have to disconnect the hoses. You can always just turn these hoses back to here, press play here to pause your hydrogen production, and you'll be ready to go next time. Whenever you're not infusing your bath water and you want to inhale hydrogen or use it to make drinking water, you go ahead and find this H2 port right on the top. Here I have a diffusion rod for some drinking water. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to plug that on there. And then on the front of the unit here, I'm going to press play.
Begin hydrogen production.
And that will begin to put hydrogen gas through this diffusion rod. You put that in your glass of water, and it begins to infuse your drinking water.